I am the head of the Inquisition. Some people that I've encountered remark that I should be traveling at the head of an army. I often do, actually. However, I cannot bring an army with me wherever I go, because not only would that be impossible to supply, but it would be extremely tedious and would get in the way of much of what I'm trying to accomplish. Could I have brought an Inquisition army with me into the Deep Roads? It was enough that we had dwarves with us for support, but several dozen Inquisition soldiers and engineers along with the Legion of the Dead did go down and help our efforts there. Besides, if my companions and I can feed dragons, I think it would be unnecessary to bring anyone else with me. One less Venatori. They may come from the same place, but there's a world of difference between the Venatori and most people from Tevinter. Dorian wants a particular group of Venatori mages dead. And on the way there, or right after, we can make camp. But there's a landmark right nearby. And we have Marshal Prue to try to get on our side. Well, let's go find this landmark. It's reportedly really close.
Why not? Good day to you.
Wow. Lots of Orlesians here. Well, it is in Orlais, but of course, but I'm just not used to this many people who aren't in the Inquisition, this many soldiers around me. Seems a little odd. Fort Revison. Did you know that Revis is the elven word for freedom? Revisan is the place where freedom dwells. One wonders why it wasn't given a more appropriate name after the reclamation of the Dales. Perhaps the adage remains true. Once one gets to a name, it's hard to change. Once one gets used to a name. The walls in this place are ancient. I hope it holds. From the log of Marshal Bastion Prul, Lord to the Grand Duke Gaspard. The last time I was around this many soldiers who weren't part of the Inquisition was
Have you seen any of our fallen men out there?
Hallam Shirl. No, I haven't.
Make her turn his gaze on you, Inquisitor.
Have many of you fallen?
What you see is all that's left. We were 1,000 strong once. The worst part is not knowing what happened to the men who don't come back. Deserters? Or dead? If they're dead, we've nothing to tell their families. Nothing to send home.
Good luck to you.
We found 2 letters. Maybe there's more. Stables. Well, 1,000 soldiers isn't really an army. It's more like a large garrison. Hardin Hightown, Chapter 8, by Varric Tethris. Donan Brenokovic left his partner, Jevlan, at the barracks. The recruit was even more jittery after their run-in with Captain Belladonna, and although Donan himself was starting to feel his limbs weighed down and aching after such a long shift, he finally had the scent of something in this case. He wouldn't let it get away. The city of Kirkwall has a legacy of collectors. It was built in ancient times by Tevinters who collected suffering as if it were rare coins, and they passed on their obsession to future generations. On any street from Darktown to the Viscount's Keep, you can find someone who will always buy tapestries or who has every known spoon made in Navarra, or someone who hoards odd bits and scraps of historical knowledge like it's their grandmother's crockery. Which was how he found himself knocking on a brightly painted door in the alienage. Oh, guardsman, what a nice surprise. Nobody's been mugged, have they? The elf beamed up to him. She had green eyes so wide they barely fit in her face, but she seemed to be made of nothing, and she seemed to be made of nothing but elbows and knees. No muggings today, Maisie. Donan had to duck his head slightly to get through the door. I have something you might be interested in. He handed her the letter and the magistrate's wife had given him the night before. Well, this doesn't look very interesting at all, Maisie frowned, disappointed. What you have claimed belongs to greater powers. You will answer to us. That's a lot of rubbish. Not that. Look at the back. She flipped the letter over and cooed as if she'd found a lost puppy. Ooh, just look at you. You're just perfect. Maisie, Donan spoke in a loud, firm voice, trying to remind her he was still in the room. Whose seal is that? Oh, it's the executor's, of course. Maisie peered excitedly at the wax seal, holding it up to the window for better light. I should have guessed that from the silly great powers nonsense. There's only been one example on the letter claiming responsibility for the assassination of Queen Magredal in 599, and this one is so much better. Just look at the imprint. Any idea how I'd contact these executors? Donan asked. Oh, they're not real, of course. Everyone knows that.
The demons are gone.
Well, it's written by my friend. A friend. He's not with us today.
The three men were part of the undead problem? How?
Yeah, they were. Helping to create, at the Oak Phaedrus, create undead corpses by putting all dead bodies there. Of course, that's what the spirits would come through and take over.
Got to get ready.
Well,
I don't...
there's letters all over the place. Reportedly. Okay. Well, we have to go up. Try to get over there.
Oh my.
We can. Marked on my map. Now, these are a lot less extensive
Got to get ready.
than all the ramparts that we've encountered. This actually isn't that great of defenses here. And they're not too worried hanging around like this. Maybe they rely on their scouts to inform them if there's danger coming, but I don't think that this is very good.
The demons are gone. The demons are gone.
Legend of the Three Sisters, Book 2. Typically, the Three Sisters react in a similar manner upon entering the Bell March. Charisse is the adventurous one, intrigued by all the sights and sounds of the market, and most heedless of all dangers. Mary is the brash one, the most suspicious of everything she sees, and the one who makes withering, sarcastic comments, even if she allows her sisters to drag her along. Brielle, meanwhile, is always the innocent one. She is depicted as wide-eyed and startled, like a doe lost in the wilderness, yet by the end of the tale, she is also the one who bursts out of her shell the most. A common initial stop for the girls, for instance, is the White Rose. It's an infamous establishment in the Bell March, serving tea and cakes to noble patrons by day and at night transforming into a house of ill repute filled with male and female prostitutes in elegant dress. The girls go there because the building is fashionable, someplace they can escape from the market's crowds. Inside, Mary is the first one to realize that the friendly gentlemen are not what they seem. Brielle is scandalized, but it's Charisse who runs off to dance with these men despite her sister's protests. This leads to a chase through the White Rose. Mary and Brielle stumbling into room after room where they are confronted with various patrons. Empress Celine herself is frequently mentioned. Mary scathingly berates these patrons while Brielle is intrigued despite herself and eventually drawn off when Mary isn't looking. Mary throws her hands up in disgust and joins a dwarf in smoking an illicit substance from a wild contraption. It's at this point in the tale where the girl's desperate chaperone, La Bette, appears in the White Rose, and things get truly interesting. Details vary, but by the end of this part of the tale, the White Rose is in flames, Bette has pummeled her way through a legion of clueless patrons, and the three sisters are led out the back door by a charming elf, completely unaware anything is amiss behind them. To my knowledge, however, the White Rose has never burned to the ground in its entire existence and maintains a legion of guards that make such antics implausible. Even so, the tale is stubbornly believed to be true even in Val Royeaux itself, from Tales of Val Royeaux by Lord Werner. Joking. Okay. That's not a letter that I'm looking for.
The demons are gone.
Oui?
The demons are gone.
Yes, the demons are gone. What's that? Rash, fine. We don't need it. Okay, so it's through this way to the rest of the area. Where scouts noted we can make camp. Where there's more fade rifts.
Look at that.
I don't know if there's any more.
Set up to warn us if bandits are above them.
I didn't catch what they were saying. I don't think there'll be any more freemen, but I could be mistaken on that. There are other things to deal with, like the Venatori who are nearby. The Fenhario. Is a cave down there? Oh, it's collapsed. Maybe the Inquisition can open it?
We could send men to clear this out, if you want.
I like your accent, Cassandra. I think it's very charming. All right. Well, Dorian's, yeah. The Venatori he wanted me to kill, he's reportedly they're in the area. What's going on? Okay. Well, what I'm looking for isn't in here. Let's just go and deal with the Venatori then. There's a big tower along there. No, I am looking for... Oh, there's a fade rift. I'm looking for that landmark. One, two, looks like three. It's kind of there and there. So 4 little pillars and the river. Ah, that's too hard to tell. How about this? Is there a river there, though? It kind of looks like there could be. That could be the area I was looking for. I don't have to go and explore, of course. So the Venatori should be nearby, according to Dorian. Yes, that's them. Let's give them a nice welcome. And I tell Dorian, you're welcome, but it helps the Inquisition's cause just as much, if anything. Alright, there's a Fade Rift over this way. Let's go deal with it. Claim this for the Inquisition. Memorials of the Second Exalted March. Triumph of the Light. Remember the triumph over the profane. Sister Amity led the march to the river Tenasur, where stood shrines to the elven gods. These she struck down. Standing upon the banks, she sang the chant of light. Andraste's word had come to the Dales and delivered them from wickedness. Truly. Oh. Getting a little close. Oh. Revenant. And the rift is closed. Fire essence, some paragon carving, royal sea silk, and revenant heart. Claim this for the Inquisition. What is left of this little town? Ville Montevalon. Ville Montevalon was the first settlement humans established in the Dales following the victory of the Exalted March. Soldiers were the earliest residents of the village. In 221 Glory, Sister Amity, champion of the Exalted March, laid the foundation stones of the village Chantry in a symbolic gesture. The building's construction was completed in 222. Laying aside her sword and bow, Sister Amity took on the task of leading Vil Montevelin's flock, becoming revered Mother Amity. She served the Maker for over 40 years, ministering to both residents of the Dales and the many pilgrims to the historic site. Revered Mother Amity died peacefully in her sleep in 264. Her ashes are interred in the Chantry's vault, where dozens of pilgrims still come each year to pay their respects. From Exalted, a history of the Dales by Lord Adamar Garhant, royal historian.
Should we look around?
This town is completely gone. Sensing something nearby. On the other side of this wall. Book. Old journal. An old journal clearly much beloved. I weep at the armies, what the armies have done. Ditches scar the landscape. There's fire everywhere. All around is the smell of bitter smoke and spilled blood. I remember coming here as a boy. It was late summer and the plains were bright and golden. The earth was warm and felt like home. All that's gone. My mother said my father was from these parts. She never told anyone but me that he was an elf. Really? Not so bad. Maybe part of me, the elf-blooded part, feels what the Dalish felt for centuries. This is my home. I would give anything to preserve it. I'll go now with the others, but when the war is over, I will return. It will be beautiful again. So the war has destroyed this place. Right in the foundation. Grey whiskey, right wine, conscription ale. A bottle marked vintage. Warden Coronek. Notes of fruit and anger. I take it they did a lot of fishing. What's this? Sacrificial dagger. Well, this village or town will need a lot of rebuilding once people come back to live here. If there's anyone left to come back who formerly lived here. What's this? Something nearby. Maybe more wolves. Nobody hear that? Well, those look like Inquisition soldiers to me. Definitely not Freeman. Who's this? Hello? Maybe we can get this bridge repaired.
That keep must rely on this bridge for everything. Communication, supplies. How long has this been going on?
Yeah, is it quite a large fortification over there. But we can't do anything about that right now. Claim the bridge for the Inquisition. Pont Auger. A plaque in the bridge of Pont Auger reads, dedicated to all elven and human who lost their lives in the Second Exalted March. Pont Auger was built 100 years after the Exalted March of the Dales. It was named for Mayor Auger of Vil Montevelin, who raised the money to have the bridge built after several villagers drowned in a ferry accident trying to cross the river, swollen after the rains. Some villagers took offense to the dedication message on the bridge, which honors fallen elves as well as humans. Rumors that the mayor was elf-blooded began to circulate. He was forced to step down. Why do some Shems hate elves so much? I guess from my experience, the feeling has been, among the Dalish, has been quite mutual. Alright, enough with this village. There's a Fade Rift nearby. And, oh, this is where Marshal Prue sent out a patrol? Well, there's a Fade Rift right here. I kind of could explain what happened. I should mark that on my map, actually. It is this way. Shemlin. Obviously not going over that bridge. What's this up here? Some kind of construction. that the Shems built. Yeah, it looks like a fort that the top of the walls have crumbled. Not going this way. There's a soldier on the... Let's see if we can save him. You okay?
The demons are coming from down there! A rift!
I'm not worried about a Fade Rift. How many have I closed now? Several hundred at least. Ouch. Are you the patrol?
Victory at last!
Well, we haven't... We have to shut down this Fade Rift. Where's the epicenter? Is there a floor below? Oh, this is strange. I'm gonna have to keep searching through this fort. I kind of suspect that the rift is below. It's very dark in here. There's a ladder going down. On the other side. Oh, just jump. There it is. Lightning essence.
What does Corypheus hope to accomplish? Dorian, you must know.
Let me guess, because he's Tevinter.
Well, you have better insight into the Tevinter mind than anyone else here.
Darling Cassandra, Corypheus is from a Tevinter that's been dead and gone 1,000 years. Whatever nostalgic vision he's selling, it has little to do with my Tevinter. Or his followers, frankly.
Bottles of Thetis. Finale by Mossad. The last bottling from the legendary vintners of Ferelden before lands were divided. Tears on the glass, as slow as the turning of the reluctant air, as quick on the tongue as words that can't be unsaid. That was very odd to read. Well, Dorian, people from Tevinter today are following Corypheus. It's not just Corypheus from 1,000 years ago, so you must understand the appeal that a lot of arcane horror heart. A lot of Tevinters are. I mean, that's who make up the Venatori. They're all from Tevinter. You must understand, at least have a better understanding than we do over why they chose to follow him. So it's understandable why Cassandra would ask the question, because she's not from Tevinter. And I don't even understand why Tevinters are doing it. I don't understand why anyone would follow Corypheus is just madness to me. I can only think that they're promised a lot of power at the expense of the entire world. What kind of trade-off is that? It's meaningless. A world full of demons and without Shemlin or elves? Riverside Garrison. This ancient structure has stood since the time of the Elven Kingdom of the Dales. Since then, it has fallen into ruin. No one alive knows for what the elves used it. It's written odd. Grand Duke Gaspard's forces claimed it as an outpost early in the Orlesian Civil War. Well, let's let them know that they can come back. That the garrison, or the patrol sent out by Marshal Prue wasn't lost. This is some kind of leftover magic from your spell, Dorian? Odd. Well, life has come back. It took a few hours. Now we have to set out. Did we pass by that camp? No, we passed right by it. Let's set out for this camp.